Ah, alright guys, welcome back. I'm excited for this one today. So let's get on with it. I want to talk about you lengthening your time scale. So increasing the amount of time that you're thinking it's going to take. Because I heard this from Alex Hormozy. He was saying that a lot of people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10. So people think they can do a lot more of what they're actually capable of in a year, but give them 10 and they will achieve so much more than what they think they could do. So this is the main thing. So first of all, you want to realize your expectations for that first year, but then for every year after that, for the next 10 years, you want to up your goals. I know I've got massive goals for the future, and they're huge, and some people will say they're just unobtainable. They're just ridiculous. But I love having a big goal. I love having something huge, something big to strive for. Because I feel like it's going to keep me hungry until I achieve that big thing. And then I can just have another big goal. Or I can just have another goal in a different aspect of my life. But increasing your time scale, so setting goals for the industry that you're in that area, so in your business life, in your family life, that are 10-year goals, 8-year goals, they're going to keep you in that industry. Unless you have a very good reason for getting out of that thing. So maybe you stop working because you choose to, and you just never want to work again. But then you're living off of, say, your family or something. And you're living off their money. Then this is the kind of thing that keeps you going for those 10 years, keeps you saving up the money, keeps you just a little bit day by day, and then you can retire and live off your own money, if this makes sense. So, but I'm talking about the ones that really want it, the people that really want to achieve something. They want to keep working even when they've got enough money to last them a lifetime, when they've got enough money for their kids. Like, at that point, it's more about just making an impact, having an impact on the world around you, making a difference, helping people for the better. At that point, that's what it's mainly about. Proving your message, having a purpose within your brand, whatever it may be. So I want people to start setting long-term goals. And some people will class a year as long-term, but I'm saying 5-10-year goals. Things that you want to do in 5 or 10 years' time that may look almost unachievable now, but then just think that if you're on this journey, for the next 10 years, if you're on this path you're currently on, and if you start making the right decisions, if you start making the right choices, doing the right things in every situation, then where are you going to be in 10 years' time? So I want you to imagine now where you currently are in this situation. What have you been doing over the past few weeks that's going to help you long term? Have you been trying to learn a new skill? Have you been working more than usual? Have you been working a job that's helping you develop that skill? Have you been training harder than ever? What have you been doing that's been positive, that's been beneficial to you for the long run as well? Now, look at that and start thinking about where are you going to be with that thing in 5-10 years? Are you still going to be training really hard? Are you still going to be working a different job to try and develop another skill? Or are you going to be using that skill to make you even more money? What is the purpose of what you want to do? So just have a think about what you do on a daily basis that's beneficial, and is that going to be beneficial for you in 10 years? So start looking at a long-term return on what you do now. Start looking at things through a different angle, through a different part of the movie almost. Start looking at them from 10 years from now. Think about how much it's going to benefit you if you do that thing. How well are you going to come out of it in the other end? Are you going to be that person you want to be in 10 years? Is it achievable? Because most people, as we just said, underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And lots of people have big 10-year goals. Big 10-year goals. Like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. I want to have 10 million. And that's perfectly achievable if you're working the right job. If you're doing the right things day in, day out. So now I'm just thinking, what if you do all the right choices and you just up your expectations a bit? Because a lot of people, they'll have high expectations for what they want to do in the next year. I know I do. So now I'm going to up my expectations for what I can do in the next 10 years. That's what I want. Because if 10 years from now, when I'm 28 years old, still have a few years before I want to settle down, I want to have achieved so much that everyone kind of pales in comparison to my achievements. I want to be at the top of my game in whatever it is I do. I want to be the fittest I've ever been. I want to be the strongest I've ever been. I want to be the smartest I've ever been. I want to be the best dressed. I want to be the best looking. I want to be the best at everything that I've ever been by that time. And I want it every day just to get better. And I know that's what's going to happen. Because if I stay on this path, if I keep working my arse off day in, day out, if I keep doing these YouTube videos, if I keep working my sales job, eventually something's going to click and then I'll be able to leverage it for a better one, or I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to do that. There are so many different routes that I could take, but it's all about consistency and looking at it in the long term. It took me probably a month to reach my first 100 subscribers. A month. And then I gained 100 in a day a couple of days ago. So do you have the capability to be consistent in something for days, for weeks, for months, and not see any results and not see any progress being made? Do you have that ability to stick at something for a long, long time without getting the results that you want? Do you have that ability? Because lots of people will say they do, but when it actually comes down to it, when it comes down to sticking something out without having any return on what they're doing, they can't handle it. They can't do it because they don't like seeing something not give them back what they put in. But that's the thing. It all happens. You give it all. You give it your all. And nothing happens for a long, long time. This could be the case for something you're doing currently. You give something your all, and nothing could happen for a long time. And then one day, something just clicks. Something happens. One of your videos goes viral. And everything happens at once. All of that time and effort you put in for those days and weeks and months where nothing was changing, it all happens in a span of weeks, in a span of days instead. Everything launches off. Everything makes so much progress. And it's amazing. It is absolutely just phenomenal. So if you can realize that and just stick it out until that point comes, and then you're going to have the most motivation that you would have ever had to do that thing. You're going to be so excited that it's finally working. And then you can start pushing it even farther because you'll be bringing in more money. You'll have more money to put into the business again, reinvest and make it bigger and grow it, and you'll have more strength and more motivation to go back to the gym or whatever it is that is happening. You're going to have more motivation and more want and drive to do more of it because now it's succeeding. And you keep that momentum going, you keep that snowball effect going. When something builds up, you keep pushing through. And once you break through that next level, then it goes up again. It could be it goes up and then there's a plateau. There's a very small plateau. But that plateau draws on. and on. And you've got this same thing again for weeks, months, maybe even a year. You put in so much work again, but nothing happens. And then one day it just clicks like that again, and everything takes off to the next level. So please, just I urge you, lengthen your time scale, lengthen the degree to which you're looking at things. So don't look at things in, okay, a week, a month. Look at them, okay, in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. What am I going to achieve with this? And then just accept that some things are going to take a lot of work. Some things are going to take a lot of time and effort and consistency before you start to see the results and reap the rewards of what you've sowed, of the crop that you have sowed. If you think about a crop, they have to plough the field, they have to put the seeds in, they have to fertilise it, and get rid of all the weed killers and all of that. They've got to do all these different steps, but then they can't harvest the crop for another 6-8 months. It takes a long time for the crop to grow and be ready for harvest. So think about it like that. You are planting the seeds of greatness, and you are waiting for that seed to grow into the plant and the crop that it is then harvestable. I trust you to do the right thing with the time that we all have. Make the most of the time we have, but remember that if you're still young, you have a lot. Lengthen your time scale. That doesn't mean slow down. That does not mean slow down. Remember this, it does not mean slow down. Keep your pedal on the metal. Keep your foot to the floor. Keep going forward, keep pushing yourself. But just remember that if it doesn't happen today, it's going to happen eventually.